Welcome, you butt dumplings, to TP For Your Earholes. My name is Charlene Schmidt, and with me is...
Patrick Schmidt.
Hello!
Hi.
We're back,
We
we are
are.
back with another starter pack episode this week.
Yeah, our second straight.
Yes. Last week we did Mike Judge's Beavis and Butt-head, a starter pack for that, which was a pack of 5. This week we get to double it up, and we're going to do a pack of 10 from the original run. And this is something that you could give to a noob who has never watched any Beavis and Butt-head in the hopes of enticing them to watch the rest of the show. And it does occur to me that there are these people out there in the world who have never watched Beavis and Butt-head. It's weird to us, but they're there.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre that these people are walking the earth and like shopping in the same stores we shop in and driving on the same streets. That's so weird to think about.
How do they get by?
Right?
That's what I need to know.
So today we're building a list, 10 episodes that will hopefully give somebody a positive impression on this show and a taste of what it could be and maybe to want more.
That's right. The idea is to entice. And
Yes.
so you have made a list of 10 with some honorable mentions, standbys, whatever you want to call them. And so have I. I have also made a list of 10 with standbys. And then we're going to meld these lists together into one list of 10. So hopefully it is the ultimate introduction to this show.
And the thing is, we don't know what's on each other's lists. We're going to have to figure that out along the way. And that's part of the fun of an episode like this. That's part of the fun of a challenge like this, is to bounce ideas off each other and come up with a list together that's hopefully better than the list that you came up with independently.
That's right. And since we are going to have to meld these lists together, there's probably going to be a lot of back and forth of deciding what makes the cut and what doesn't.
Yes.
So I don't know if this episode is going to be 20 minutes long or 2 hours.
You know, I'm ready for either. And here's the thing. Our listeners have been able to see into the future. They already know the episode length. We don't.
This is true. This is true. And hey, speaking of you out there, let's tell everybody how to contact us if you wish to do so. You can follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, at TP For Your Earholes. You can also follow us and subscribe and listen and do all the things on YouTube. We love getting comments there, and we do. So please keep that up, friends. That's so much fun. And you can also go to our website, tpforyourearholes.com. You can fill out a contact form that goes directly to us. And you can also find the back catalog of all of our other previous episodes there, too.
It's the world's greatest website. I mean, there's no competition.
I mean, I think it is because I designed it.
But yeah, check it out. There's a lot of really cool stuff, and also our show notes, any associated links or anything like that, you can always find those at tpforyourearholes.com.
That's right. That is the easiest place to find that stuff, too. You can find it in the podcast episode notes themselves. But I think for clickability purposes, it's so much easier just to go to the website. So do that.
Yeah.
And just go to the website. Give us some, bump up our numbers and stuff. All right. Well, we've got a list to make. So how about we get to it, huh?
Yeah, let's get into it. And I really think the fun of this, and hopefully the listeners who were listening last week picked up on this, is the fun is not in making the lists individually. The fun is debating our list to come up with our 10. And
Absolutely.
we are entering into this episode, I think, understanding that there's probably going to be a few episodes that we agree on, but there's also probably going to be a lot that we don't agree on. And I say this as a person who doesn't even agree with his own list anymore. I made it yesterday. And now today I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know. Maybe I should have flip-flopped these. Blah, blah, blah. It's the list, the best that we could do in this moment. Ask us tomorrow, it might be different.
Absolutely. You were next to me as I made my list earlier today. And there was a point where I reached the magic number and I said, no more. I am backing away. I am not going to try and refine it any further because the more I nitpick it, the worse it's going to get.
And here's the good news about a show like Beavis and Butt-head is that it's easy to pick 10, right? Let me rephrase that a little bit. There are so many good episodes that finding 10 great ones is super easy.
Yes. That part is easy. Narrowing it down can be hard. And then, I don't know about you, but I want to create a well-rounded list of 10 that gives an idea of the world of Beavis and Butt-head, and not just a greatest hits compilation. No, I really want people to understand from these 10 episodes what they'd be getting themselves into if they continue to watch the rest of the show.
Agreed. This is not just our 10 favorite episodes. That's not what this is about. It's these 10 episodes are the best at introducing people to the world, to the characters, and what to expect from, if you're going to watch, a couple hundred more episodes.
Yeah. So we're going to come up with 10 to start. Okay.
Let's get into this. I'm ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Do you want to start with an easy pick, or do you want to throw a questionable one that you're not sure is a lock or not?
No, I'm going to start easy.
Start easy then.
Because if this one doesn't make the list, I walk.
Oh, okay. Threats. Good. I like it.
Yes, I'm threatening. With literally before we've even discussed the first episode, I'm laying down threats.
Okay, well, so be it. Have at it.
One that I feel like has to be on the list of 10 if I'm going to put my name to it. Pregnant pause has to be on there.
Of course. Yes. And just for the record, listeners, we did discuss a little bit beforehand certain episodes that we knew were going to be locks on both of our lists. This was the absolute first best thing. We both love this episode. It is a great representation of Beavis and Butt-head, how misunderstandings make for fantastic comedy. Yeah, of course this is on the list. Yeah.
And something I had forgotten about this episode, because a lot of times we separate the episodes from the music videos. This episode also has the Yanni music video.
Oh.
This guy is your dad, Beavis.
Bom, bom, bom.
Ah, no.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, so I was very partial to this episode, always have been. Put a gun to my head, it's my favorite episode of all time. And I think it definitely deserves a spot on the list, and I take it you agree with me.
Yeah, I certainly don't disagree. I mean, I love Pregnant Pause. It is one of the most perfect episodes of Beavis and Butt-head that ever has existed.
Yes, I agree.
You gotta see this one. And if you don't like this, well, I don't want to know you.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, so what's your first nominee for the list?
Okay, well, you went for a lock, and I think I would like to also go for a lock, or what I think should be a lock. I don't know if it's going to be on your list or not, but I really do love this episode, and it is a classic, and I do think it needs to be here. It is No Laughing.
Yes. Agreed. It's on my top 10 as well.
Okay, great. Yes. Another lock. We have two.
Now, No Laughing, don't get me wrong. It's a great episode. I wouldn't put it in my 10 favorites, but I would put it in a starter pack because it's when things start actually getting good.
Really, yeah. This is one of the oldest episodes that makes me laugh the hardest. Yeah. And I want to encompass from maybe not every single season of the classic show, but I want to get close to it. You know what I mean? I want to show early episodes, middle of the pack, and toward the end.
And No Laughing, I think, is a great example of early Beavis and Butt-head, a great example of, what the show could be and what it was going to become, and also addressed this whole thing about why are they always laughing? And I think that was a legitimate question that people had in the early days of the show, is what's with this laughing thing? So being able to have that reflected in such an early episode, I think was a really great moment to have, and turned Beavis and Butt-head from sort of destructive and sociopathic to self-aware.
That self-awareness is what really makes this episode. It's calling itself out as a show and turning it into comedy gold.
I think I've said this before on the podcast, but for me, No Laughing is like the second pilot.
Oh, I don't know if you've said that before, but I really like that.
Yeah, where you can pretty much skip everything before that and be okay, but you cannot skip No Laughing. You have to watch it if you're going to understand this show.
Yes, and that is why I think it has to be on this list as a starter pack. And it might, I don't know, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but this might be a contender for number 1 in placement.
Oh, yes, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah?
I agree.
Okay. Well, when we get to that, we'll just lock that in. But
Yeah.
we've got a little way to go before that.
By the way, listeners, if you did not catch last week's episode, not only do we have to pick our 10, we have to put them in order too.
Yes, we do.
And we're going to save ordering for the end.
Okay, so we are 2 for 2.
I put one on my top 10 thinking it would just be on your top 10, and I'm already ready to make this concession.
Okay, what is it?
So the one I put on my list as a gift to you, my dear wife, is butt flambe.
Oh, thank you. Because you know what? I did not put this on the list.
I thought butt flambe was like a lock on your list.
It is a favorite.
Okay.
Does it need to be on a starter pack? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I love it.
We can put a pin in it. I really thought that was going to be like your pregnant pause was going to be butt flambe.
No, not quite.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Put a pin in it. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, let's put a pin in that. See if it makes the list. Believe me, I wanted to put it there.
Okay.
But I wanted to put so many episodes on this list.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Seriously.
So, yeah, butt flambe, as much as I love it personally, is it a strong episode that I need to show to someone else? When they start putting the mix together, maybe. Maybe is the answer. Depends maybe on the day, the hour, the year, who knows? Now, one that I do think is a very strong, for sure, hoping it'll be a lock episode, is Nosebleed.
Nosebleed. Now, I need to break out the math here because I have my top 10 and then I have my others that drew serious consideration. Nosebleed is one of those that drew serious consideration. It was one of the last ones out for me.
Oh, okay. So strong contender.
Yeah. So if Nosebleed makes the list, I'm happy with that. It's a great episode and really does tap into the whole angle of Beavis and Butt-head problem solving.
Yeah, which is always so much fun.
It's so good and very well written. And also there's a lot of, I think, restraint in that episode in as much as there's a lot you don't see. And sometimes what you don't see is funnier, right?
Less is more sometimes. Yeah.
And this is a good episode for that.
It really is. Okay. So it's kind of on the standby list. It might make it. It might not. It's kind of there with butt flambe, maybe a little higher in the standby list.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like, though, since it just barely didn't make the cut of yours and it did make mine.
All right.
Okay. What is another one you've got on your top 10?
So on my top 10, and this is one that I think when I look back at the show and think about how I first got introduced to the show, how I became a fan of the show, this was one of those episodes that shaped my understanding of the show and shaped the view of the show of a lot of my friends as well.
Okay.
And that was Bus Trip.
Bus Trip. This was a tough one. It's on my standbys.
Okay.
So, okay, we have another one.
Here's my advocacy for Bus Trip.
Yeah,
is that this was really the first episode that I remember being a truly viral episode in my friend group.
Ah.
The first episode where the day after it came out, we were quoting it in the hallways, right?
This was the episode that got everybody to say peekaboo.
Yeah, peekaboo. It was also, this is the episode where I learned what a pressed fruit bowl is. When the episode came out, I had no idea what that was. I don't remember asking anybody, but I figured it out.
That's just it, is you can figure it out. You can put that together.
But the phrase pressed fruit bowl got used a lot in that next couple months.
Oh man, I bet it did.
Yeah. But it really was one of those really viral kinds of things. And I remember it just very distinctly as being the show that made me realize, one, this is a big deal. And two, everyone watches it. And three, it's quotable, repeatable, funny, always funny.
True. And it does tap into the theme of injuring Van Driesen while in nature. So if we're going for big thematic Beavis and Butt-head things, it does relate to that. That also makes this episode a really strong contender to make the top 10.
Yeah.
God, this is going to be hard.
Well, yeah, we're what, like 3 episodes in and we're already regretting our life choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, it's only going to get harder from here.
Yep. All right, what do you got?
Okay, we have to have a Cornholio episode in this starter pack. Do you agree with that?
I disagree with that.
Oh, you got to tell me why.
Because as big of a deal as Cornholio is, and literally the name of our show comes from Cornholio, I don't know that it's required because there were so few Cornholio episodes.
Here's why I disagree with you.
Okay, I go for it.
Okay. The fact that, for one, our podcast is in relation to a Cornholio-related element, and the fact that the Great Cornholio is what really put Beavis and Butt-head, I mean, aside from the whole fire controversy, the next thing was Cornholio. The Great Cornholio really broke Beavis and Butt-head out as a pop culture thing. And most people know when kids put their sweatshirts over their head and go, I am Cornholio, I need TP for my bunghole. People know that comes from Beavis and Butt-head. I think for somebody who has never seen the show, it is essential to understand where it all came from. So I nominate the Great Cornholio.
Okay, I'm going to retort. Okay. And that is, I do have a Cornholio episode in my honorable mentions.
Okay.
And that is, I think, my favorite Cornholio episode, which is Buttnicks.
Buttnicks. Okay, when we come to narrowing things down, I'm willing to make the concession that it doesn't have to be the Great Cornholio, but we need a Cornholio episode.
Okay.
And Buttnicks was, if not the Great Cornholio, let's do Buttnicks because that's my favorite too.
Okay. All right, cool.
Okay, so I'm really emphasizing that on the standby list.
All right.
Okay, throw another one at me.
So let's go early again. I think there's another early episode we're overlooking that really deserves consideration, and that is Home Improvement.
Ooh.
From season 2.
Yes, you know what? My list does not have a Tom Anderson story.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, massive oversight on my part. Okay, go on.
And I like Home Improvement because, it was shortly before No Laughing. And I really do think Home Improvement signifies a big shift in the show, where it's really that first episode that puts stupidity ahead of maliciousness.
Uh-huh.
And that changes the whole tone of the show. And even though it comes off in the end as very malicious, it's coming from a place of stupidity, not of vengeance or wanting to see bad things happen in the world.
Yeah.
And that changes the whole show. The whole show shifts on that episode. And I think it's, from that standpoint, a really good one. It's also where we first hear Beavis's brain noise when he gets high.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of a touchstone moment.
I love it so much.
You're making a very good case for it.
Okay.
Gonna have to put that one down.
Okay. We'll come back to that, but
Yes,
I think it deserves a spot.
Yeah, that's really good reasoning. It's hard to argue against that. I don't know if I will.
And it's good Tom Anderson episode too.
Yes, and we do need a Tom Anderson episode. You know what else we need? Is Burger World.
Yes.
And I had a really tough time coming up with what I think is the definitive Burger World episode, because they all do something a little different. No service is great. Closing time is great if we want to tap into more, I think it's earlier episodes. And my favorite, though, is Tainted Meat. So I just want to outright ask, do you have a Burger World episode on your list? And if so, which episode is it?
So in my 2 lists combined, I have one Burger World episode, and it is Tainted Meat.
Okay, we're jumping the gun a tiny bit on this, but let's say that I have nominated Tainted Meat, and we just say that is going to be our Burger World episode so that there is Burger World in this list.
I'd be okay with that. Tainted Meat's a great episode.
Yeah.
And I think one of the quintessential Burger World episodes. And yeah, I'm more than okay with that one being a lock on the list right now.
Okay, let's go with it. Thank you. That helped really simplify that problem.
Okay. Yeah, it's not in my top 10, but it was like 11th.
Yeah, okay.
That one was really tough to keep off. And I had it on the list originally, and then there were a couple that I moved up, and I was like, oh, something's got to go.
Yeah, of course.
But Tainted Meat, I'm absolutely okay with that one being a lock.
Okay, that's great. That's perfect. We are back to you.
All right. Impotence.
I did not put it on either list. It's a great episode, but it didn't make the cut.
Damn. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm still going to advocate for it. I think it's one of the best written episodes, start to finish. The classic sort of like misunderstanding episode. And the sexual arousal meters are some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. Any show, not just Beavis and Butt-head.
This is true. Can I counter with another nomination?
Of course.
Since we're talking medical stuff, I know this episode is one of your favorites. Patience.
That's in my top 10. It's in my top 10.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is a lock, and I think you do have to have them going to see a medical professional of some kind. Because that is a thing that happens throughout the course of the show.
Because, come on, patience. There's so many good moments in that episode. There's too many to count. Beavis with his glasses, Goofus is cool, all of those things. And for a noob, it's a really good introduction into how do Beavis and Butt-head interact with the real world and real people? And it's not good.
No, it's really not, but it is hilarious.
Yes, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, so if I have to pick between Beavis ramming himself into a wall with his new glasses or the arousal meters, I don't know. Between that and the lollipop, I have to pick Patience. They're both so good, but I think there's just a tiny bit more comedy, a little more laughter out of Patience.
Well, and maybe it's the thing with Impotence is that it is a lot funnier when you realize how sexually frustrated the two are. It's funnier after seeing them fail and fail and fail.
Maybe.
So maybe it's not a good starter pack episode. Maybe it's a great episode, but it's not right for the starter pack.
Good point. Maybe that's like the next 10 or 20.
Right. That'd be a good call.
Okay, so that actually takes a pick from me, Patience. How about you throw another one out there?
I like it when Mike Judge goes meta. So I'm going to nominate Animation Sucks.
Hey, that's on my list too.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, walk.
Yes. Okay, good. We are on the same page on that one.
Yeah, it is one of those masterful episodes that is just about perfect in every single way. It has to be here. It's so goddamn good. It's so much fun. It's funny to see them getting all riled up about something, and then the end result, they're actually disappointed by doing good work. I mean, it's great.
And I do think it's one of those sneaky episodes that really does let on how much smarter the show is than you think.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Like,
yes.
That's a great prime example of this show is smart and it's saying something.
Yep.
I want that in a starter pack.
Yeah, you have to. You got to know you have to understand that if you're going to continue watching this show. Otherwise, you're missing out on so much.
Yeah. And it's, I think, a really good way of kind of letting people know that there's hidden things and you have to be paying attention. And I think one of the greatest jokes in the history of the series is Van Driesen's monologue about the possibilities of animation happening to a still frame of Beavis and Butt-head sitting in their desks.
Yes!
That is so well done. And
that's clever shit.
And how many people missed that over the years?
Oh, golly. I hope we blew somebody's mind. Right now. Just as you said that.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
but there's always something to be on the watch for in this series. And that whole episode is great proof of that.
Truly. Okay. We're back to me now. And this one isn't as smart of an episode as Animation Sucks, but it's still got some great commentary. And it's the episode Lightning Strikes.
Lightning Strikes is on my honorable mentions.
Okay.
I think it's a great episode. A great episode. Yeah.
I do love it because it is reflective of just how much commentary there was at the time of, oh, Beavis and Butt-head are a bad influence, blah, blah, blah. But then they go out into a lightning storm with a kite because of Ben Franklin on PBS. Okay?
Great American minds.
That's right. So it wasn't Howard Stern's fault. It was Ben Franklin's.
Yeah, and a pretty biting social commentary there, which is appreciated.
Yeah. Thrown in with, of course, Betsy Wiener. And of course, her name is Betsy Wiener because this show does like to lean into the stupid just a little bit. I mean, we got to...
I do wonder if it's based on somebody. I wonder if there's somebody in a media moralist role in the 90s who had a funny name and we've just forgotten over the years.
Possibly. Or she's just this amalgamation of all of those kind of people who thought they had the higher moral ground in the 90s and were holier than thou. Bullshit! Anyway.
So I have 2 left from my original top 10 that we have not discussed yet.
Same.
One of those is blood pressure.
Ooh, okay. On my honorable mentions.
Okay.
It was
All right.
tough to sacrifice it out of the top 10 because I personally love it so much. But there is another episode in my top 10 that I think is fairly similar in tone and antics that maybe beats it out.
Okay.
And that is Die Fly Die.
Not on my list, not on my honorable mentions.
What?
I know.
I'm disappointed.
I know.
Oh, no, you need to rethink your whole life.
Okay. You know what? Defend it. Defend your choice. You might win me over yet.
Okay, Die Fly Die. It is such a supreme comedy of errors, and it's one of those where it starts off really small and then grows bigger and bigger and bigger until it's so much more of an exponentially worse problem than what they started with, just because the measures they're taking are the absolute wrong things. You mean you're using a hammer on the toilet, you're using the chainsaw to kill a fly. I think it's a great example of, and certainly the newer episodes too tap into this, of the physical comedy of just how much they punish themselves with their own stupidity.
Yeah.
I do think Die Fly Die might have more laugh out loud moments than Blood Pressure, but you know what? I would also not be mad about Blood Pressure at all. So, Live Down the Road We Trade, a physical comedy episode, and Blood Pressure makes it in. I'm not mad about it.
Okay.
And I'm not mad if Die Fly Die doesn't make the list at all.
I do think it's interesting. Die Fly Die is the first one from your list that wasn't on mine, either first or second cut.
Yeah.
And we're almost done with our lists here.
Wow.
Okay, I got one left.
Okay, what is it?
This one was my 10th one. This was my, hey, I can't overlook this episode, and that is Pierced.
Ooh. This is not on my list at all. It makes me very sad.
You son of a bitch.
This is potentially an episode we're going to talk about next week. I don't know.
Okay.
Because our topic will be, I'll just spoil it now, episodes that have not aged well, potentially.
Yeah.
The whole thing about which side they pierce their ear on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's seen a little differently in 2026, and that may or may not make our selections there. But here, as much as we both love this episode, I don't know, man. I don't know if it needs to be on a starter pack.
Okay. All right.
This is in the middle of the drag.
Well, and I think that the notes from home are some of the funniest things in the series.
Yeah.
Their reaction to getting rejected is some of the funniest stuff. Physical pain, it's all there.
Yeah, I know, but I think there are better examples of that overall. And Pierced is a great one to watch when you've seen a few of these things already, because it's still funny.
Okay, so you should have one more thing left on your top 10, right?
I do. It's
Okay.
the episode Whiplash.
Whiplash was on my honorable mentions.
Is it? Okay.
Mhm.
So it's a contender. I mean,
Absolutely. It's a contender. It's so good.
Attorney Joe Adler, one of your favorites.
Yep.
I do love just the visual of Beavis putting that neck brace around his waist. And this is also, I guess, the introduction to one of the many ways Beavis and Butthead try to get money through nefarious means.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think most of our list is lacking in that sense. And so we do need at least one episode that showcases that motivation.
So I might be willing to say yes to Whiplash as a concession for you saying yes to Home Improvement.
Let's do that. Now that we've read all of our picks out, let's start narrowing it down.
Okay.
Let's make this list.
All right. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because there's something about Whiplash that we haven't talked about, and that is the associated music videos.
Ooh, okay.
Because Whiplash has both Korn's Blind video.
Oh, yeah, it's so good.
Where, in closing, I think Korn would do well to...
Yes.
Right? So Beavis channeling the music critic. And it also has Radiohead and Fake Plastic Trees and Ed Grimley.
Yes.
Right.
Both fantastic videos. So that is an absolute winner all around.
Okay. So I'd be okay with that one making the top 10 because of those things, in addition to just the reasons that you gave.
Okay. So here's where we're at right now then. We have As Locks, Pregnant Pause, Animation Sucks, No Laughing, Tainted Meat, Patience, and now we've added Whiplash and Home Improvement. That leaves 3 spots.
Oh, gosh.
And we need to get a Cornholio in there. Should we do Buttnicks?
I think we have to. I think we have
so
to
too.
do Buttnicks. Yeah, I think. And it also, one of the cool things about it is it does kind of send up that 90s stereotype of the coffee house.
Oh, totally. Yes, it does.
And I appreciate that. And I think if you're going to fight for a Cornholio episode to be included, I'm going to fight for Buttnicks to be that episode.
Okay, that is a deal. Solid deal.
Buttnicks over the other Cornholio episodes, I think, because one is the characters had a chance to develop a little bit. So like in the first episode that we see Cornholio, we're still trying to figure it out. And it's also a Beavis and Butthead episode that does not end with Beavis's deportation.
Well, yeah, and in 2026, that comes across a little differently than it did in 1995 or 6, whenever that episode aired.
Yeah. So I would be okay with Buttnicks being the 8th episode on our list.
And that leaves 2. We
Oh my
have some
gosh.
honorable mentions that we've got to sift through now.
So, by the way, are there other episodes from your honorable mentions that we haven't talked about yet?
Oh, there are plenty. But
Okay.
boy, I don't know if I want to even touch on that just because we have so much to pick from already.
Okay. So here's how I'm looking at this then,
Okay.
which is we have Bus Trip, Impotence, Blood Pressure, Pierced, Butt Flambe, Nosebleed, Lightning Strikes. We have those 7 episodes to debate 2.
Yes, exactly.
Shit. Why do we do this to ourselves?
Because we are gluttons for punishment.
Gosh, how do you pick? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think one of the ways that we can pick here is to really look at the kind of episode it is, who it's featuring, what it's featuring.
Yeah.
Are there places where maybe we're repeating an idea that maybe we don't have to?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing.
I agree. What is missing that will make this a more complete, well-rounded list? With that said, I think with what we have left now, Bus Trip needs to be on this list.
Yeah.
I think we do.
Okay. I'm okay with that because it was on my top 10. And it was
Yeah.
it was like 3rd on my list.
And I had it as an honorable mention, so it was a strong
Mhm.
contender, and it should be here.
Okay.
Which leaves only one more slot, or a slot if you're Cloris Leachman.
So we've talked about Impotence and Patience, and those being the 2 doctor episodes.
Yeah.
I think with that, maybe Impotence is the one that goes.
Okay.
So I'd be okay with that, despite it being
I know. I
so
know, it's so
good.
good.
It's
I
one of
know.
my favorites. But we're not here to figure out our favorites. We're here to figure out the best starter pack.
Right.
Another trend I'm noticing, we have 9 episodes so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are from season 5.
Oh, how weird. This was not intended.
And then we have 2 season 2s and a season 4. Is there a place for adding in maybe a season 7 or season 6, which would be Blood Pressure Pierce, Blood Flambe, or Nosebleed, but not Lightning Strikes?
Yeah. Okay. I think Lightning Strikes should go. We have enough from mid-season Beavis and Butt-head.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it comes down to Blood Pressure or Nosebleed. Here's what I think might be the bigger question. What does Nosebleed have to offer over Blood Pressure or vice versa in this list? What does it bring that is not in this list yet? If there is such a thing.
Because I think they are very similar episodes. They're both comedy of errors kinds of episodes.
And we already have comedy of errors stuff.
All right, I'm looking at our list already to make sure I'm not lying out of my ass here. But I think Nosebleed may, over Blood Pressure, provide an example of their failing with women.
Oh.
Because we don't have that yet.
How do we not?
And Nosebleed at least has Butthead getting punched in the face when he asks for that thing you put in your thing when you got your thing.
Yeah, we're not actually showcasing an episode where they're trying to get a date or something like that. So, you know what? Okay, I think that clinches it for me, where we need them interacting with women.
Okay. Well, then Nosebleed it is, because that's the only one left that really fulfills that kind of gaping hole that we have.
Yeah.
We have school, we have home, we have work, we have Anderson, we have all kinds of out in public. And so we have them in a bunch of variety of different scenes, interacting with a variety of different kinds of people. The one thing that's kind of missing is that they are absolute failures at scoring. And this episode may be, from the ones that we have left in our conversation, the best demonstration of that.
And I'm even looking at the episodes we haven't even brought up on the standby list. And even there, even that really doesn't tap into it too much. So really, of all the selections that I have on my list, Nosebleed is absolutely the winner there. And that begs a question here. Do you even want to reveal what we haven't even talked about before we decide on the order of our top 10?
Because I do want to throw a wrench into things.
Okay.
Now that we have our 10, I'm going to make us question everything.
Okay.
And that will be the episode Sprout. Because we do not have a Daria appearance.
Damn. That's tough.
Is it okay to give someone a Beavis and Butt-head starter pack without Daria?
Man.
I know. I just kind of came to that conclusion myself, and it hurts.
And I so wanted to put Sprout on my list someplace as a standby or something and didn't. And you make such a damn good point. I mean, they made a spin-off show from Daria, for fuck's sake.
Right? Yeah. And
man,
look, I'm okay with the 10 we have, but
yeah,
we got to be conscious about this, because somebody will say, "Where's Daria?" And they'd be totally right.
You will be right.
Mm-hmm.
What if we sacrifice Whiplash for Sprout? Because I do think getting Daria in is a little more important than Attorney Joe Adler.
You know what? I'd be okay with that swap. I would be. I love Whiplash, but I'd be okay with that swap.
Yeah.
Because
Sprout is still a funny episode.
Yes. And has one of my favorite, I guess, readings of a line in the entire series.
Which one's that?
These seeds suck.
I do love their complete ineptitude around understanding how plants actually grow. You know, with feeding it Fruity Whips and Burger World. That's not how it works, guys, but that's adorable. And Daria even tried. She even tried, and, well, the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, but I think it would be good to have some sort of Daria appearance, and if it's Sprout instead of Whiplash, I'd be okay with that trade.
Me too. Okay, so that is what rounds out our top 10. Do you have any other things to throw chaos into the midst?
I'm just trying to run through other characters, because we have a Buzzcut, we have Burger World, we have a Van Driesen, we have a Tom Anderson, we have another Van Driesen, and now we have Daria. And I feel like that's pretty close. I'm okay with Stuart being a missing character. I'm okay with Todd being a missing character from this list.
Yeah, we're not going to get to it all. It doesn't have to be Pokemon.
No. But I do feel like if Daria was not included, it would be incomplete.
Yeah, and people would say something and it would be justified.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at selections that I have not even mentioned, we're pretty much covering it with one little caveat.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to throw chaos into the mix because this is just a suggestion to somebody who's going to take this starter pack, watch these 10 episodes. I think just as a bonus, you got to see how it all started. Watch Frog Baseball.
Yeah.
See how it all began, appreciate it for what it is, and then just go watch more Beavis and Butt-head.
Well, and to be honest, like Frog Baseball is a classic, but the one that I really had to really think hard on whether to include or not was Peace, Love, and Understanding, which I think is a better episode than Frog Baseball, and is still a season 1. But at the same time, Frog Baseball is a classic in a way that Peace, Love, and Understanding is not.
Exactly. People, even casually aware of the show, know that it started with Frog Baseball.
Yeah.
Or if they don't, they should know that and then see it.
True. I think this is the starter pack. People will get really interested. They'll go watch Frog Baseball, season 1, episode 1. And then they're going to watch season 1, episode 2. And then season 1, episode 3. And then before you know it, they've seen them all.
There you go. That's how it's done.
Yeah.
I like that.
So let's make Frog Baseball episode 11.
Okay. I love it. So with that said, now all we have left to do is decide on the order of our 10. And here they are. Pregnant Pause, Buttnicks, Bus Trip, Nosebleed, Home Improvement, Animation Sucks, No Laughing, Tainted Meat, Patience, and Sprout. Now, I think we said earlier that Pregnant Pause is just going to go for number 1.
I don't know that I said that.
Oh, okay.
But I honestly think the first episode you should watch should be No Laughing.
I don't disagree with you. Yeah. I think if we did say Pregnant Pause was going to be number 1, it's just because it was our first lock, and that's what happened last week.
Right.
Was our first top pick became number 1, and hey, tradition, but nah.
No, I think No Laughing, like say, I think it's the second pilot, and starting there really does set you up well for what's to follow.
Yeah, I agree. It would be kind of weird to see it later on in this list as I think about it, so it needs to be number 1.
Okay.
But then how do we want to follow that up?
I've got my preference for number 2. Number 2.
Tell me your number 2.
A Bus Trip.
Bus Trip? Okay, why number 2?
I think this is just tapping into my personal emotion here of it being the really kind of like first truly viral episode that I ever watched and that ever like made its rounds among my friends. And I don't know, there's a very strong emotional pull for me to that particular episode, but
okay.
I'm also trying to be objective here. This is not an objective choice. This is fully just Patrick wanting the list to represent him.
I gotcha.
So fire something back at me that's more objective.
I'm wondering if maybe Home Improvement ought to be number 2, because I don't think it's terrible if we do 2 school episodes in a row necessarily, but let's mix it up a little.
Sure.
Because we are trying to show different aspects of the world, and Home Improvement is an earlier episode too. And I'm not trying to go in chronological order, but it's showing a different slice of life outside of school.
Mm-hmm. And I do think showing those 2 season 2 episodes that we did pick as the first 2, probably not a bad move.
Yeah?
Yeah, as far as like the order of these 10, having those 2 season 2 episodes, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to start with those because then people can actually see the show grow and develop as well.
Yeah,
which I kind of
that's a good point. So then what should we do for number 3 then to show that progression?
So I think number 3, and again, trying to avoid the chronology, but maybe it's back to school, and maybe we have something like Sprout or Animation Sucks.
I was wondering if we should do Bus Trip or Animation Sucks. Those would be my picks. I think Sprout is kind of a 5, 6, or 7 pick.
Okay. I think Animation Sucks needs to wait.
Okay. So then how about Bus Trip?
Okay. I'm okay with that. And I think Animation Sucks needs to wait because, like we said, it's one of those smarter than you think episodes. We don't want to come out the gate with that.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
So then we've got Bus Trip at number 3. What if we put Patience after that?
Patience would be okay there. I'm also okay with Tainted Meat.
Ooh. Uh-huh.
But
yeah,
maybe Patience, and then Tainted Meat. How about like that, in that order?
Sure, why not? Okay.
Because I do like the idea of them getting into Burger World sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you got to understand that. That's important.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 5. Our first 5.
So Patience would be the 4th one. Tainted Meat would be the 5th one.
Yes. That leaves Pregnant Pause, Buttnicks, Nosebleed, Animation Sucks, and Sprout. Is this maybe where we go to Sprout then? we go from deathly epidemic level food poisoning to growing things.
I think this is maybe where we go to Buttnicks.
You know, that's kind of the one I want to argue going a little bit later.
Okay.
Just because it is such a damn good episode. I'm wondering if Nosebleed is a good mid one.
Nosebleed would be good here. Yeah, Nosebleed would be good in the 6th spot. Sure.
Okay. We'll go for that. Leaving Pregnant Pause, Buttnicks, Animation Sucks, and Sprout.
So Animation Sucks and Sprout are 2 school ones, so let's keep them separate.
Yeah. Is it time, maybe in 7th place we do Buttnicks? Or do we need to do something that's not, I guess, maybe as physical of comedy?
I think Sprout goes in 7.
Okay. I can go with that.
And here's what I'm thinking. So Sprout 7, Buttnicks 8, because that gives us our Cornholio episode before the last. Animation Sucks 9, meta, we're back at school. And then Pregnant Pause 10, which is sending you off with the one that we both agree is one of the best episodes ever.
Right. And if you're not laughing your ass off at that and wanting more, we can't help you.
Right. It should be, oh my gosh, we're ending with something that's so good, I can't wait to see more.
Yeah. I love this. Okay, I'm set. I'm good with this.
Okay.
Love that proposed order. Yeah, that's good.
So just one more time for our listeners who are maybe doing laundry or are on their commute and just got cut off. What's our final order for our top 10?
Okay, here we go. Starting off. Number 1, No Laughing. 2, Home Improvement. 3, Bus Trip. 4, Patience. 5, Tainted Meat. 6, Nosebleed. 7, Sprout. 8, Buttnicks. 9, Animation Sucks. 10, Pregnant Pause. And then as a bonus, go watch Frog Baseball. And watch everything else.
I think we did it.
I can't believe we did it.
And I think we done good.
I sure hope we did. Now, that is up to our wonderful listeners to tell us whether we have done this well or if we have sucked.
Yeah, we really would love to hear from you. Like, did we get it right? What are the things we overlooked? What are the episodes we overlooked? What are the storylines and the characters and the people and the places that you hoped we would have an episode where we didn't, we would really love to hear from you.
We would. What do you deem essential? Please tell us where you would put things in your list, what sort of things you would put in your list, and maybe where our list fell short.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a big, rich world, and it's really hard to encompass it all in 10 episodes, and there's no wrong answer. So please share your thoughts. Now, with that said, we've got plans for next week. What are we going to do next week?
So next week, we are going to look at some Beavis and Butt-head episodes that have not aged well. And we are going to kind of point out maybe some episodes that are the biggest products of their time. And we're not necessarily looking at like animation quality. We're not necessarily looking at the kinds of jokes or anything like that. We're looking at the scenarios from the 90s that are a lot harder to wrap your mind around if you're in the 2020s.
Right. Or say you're trying to rewrite this story in 2026. Can you do it? We're finding out as we're discussing this topic that sometimes you can't.
So if you want to be fully aware when that new episode drops, follow us on our socials. Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all at TP For Your Earholes. When the new stuff is out, you will see it there first.
So please follow us and then join us next week for more fantastic shenanigans, you butt knockers.
Can't wait.